That's right. Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And
Go ahead.
And BlueDragonFive.
And Monkey, the Interrupter.
And tonight,
what?
We're talking Mr. Banks! Oh, shit! Woo! That's right, folks. It's been a while since I've had the chance to say that, but we are going back to the roots of the channel, folks. We're talking about a Disney theme park attraction.
Hoorah,
oh, man.
Hoorah.
All right, so we're all kind of approaching this from different angles. I'm kind of the California adventurer. Like, I know California Adventure. Monkey, you're the local who's actually gotten a chance to ride this. Dragon, you're the out-of-towner, but you're still got a big reverence, a huge amount of respect for the Incredibles. So you're, even though you don't know when you'll actually get on this or if you'll actually ride it, considering you don't like roller coasters all that much, you still are here mostly for the Incredibles theme of it all.
Well, yeah, it's just kind of the Pixar ambassador, if you will.
Sure, of course. But with that in mind, I guess before we get into the actual coaster, do you guys want to talk about the Pixar Pier concept as a whole?
Sure.
So I know I've said this before, but like when it was announced, I was like, "Oh wait, what? Are we sure this isn't something some cynical member on a Disney fan forum came up with? Like, whoa, there's so much Pixar in the parks now. What are they gonna turn Paradise Pier into Pixar Pier?" Gotta say, in practice, Pixar Pier is an improvement over Paradise Pier. It looks a lot better now.
Paradise Pier always felt like a Six Flags, even in the best of times.
Mm-hmm. And, like, I mean, hell, just aesthetically, Pixar Pier is nicer.
Well, I tell you, I've been looking at basically they're still under construction. They're still doing some new stuff. From what I understand, if I'm understanding this correctly, and I guess you can correct me if I'm wrong. Basically, they're doing an overlay of Paradise Pier with turning it into the Pixar Pier, and it's kind of a process that'll most likely be completed within maybe like the 2019 window.
Something like that. Yeah, and it's only like that one back half of Paradise Pier. So like Little Mermaid and Goofy Sky School and Jumpin' Jellyfish, whatever, like those are, I guess, Paradise Park now.
All right.
And then Pixar Pier.
Sure, and I gotta tell you, I've been watching basically watching what I could about the Pixar Pier because it's such an intriguing concept to me. I just thought it was like kind of another version of a Toy Story Land, but kind of for over there, and it's something even kind of cooler than I ever would have imagined. It's literally it's not just Pixar in the sense of like, hey, here's your Toy Story and here's like kind of your popular movies. It's like, oh my god, it's celebrating Pixar in every which way. It's all these great deep cuts and referencing the shorts and everything. And basically, from what I've seen, I've heard like they're developing stuff for Inside Out and stuff for basically turning like Carousel into Jesse's Critter Carousel, but beyond the stuff they're still working on. From what I've seen, like at least they're in the phases of kind of teasing, kind of showing in concept what they're doing. Like they have this, just a few things off the top of my head that really stuck out to me. And the food options seem astonishingly cool to me. Like, oh my god, they're doing like Poultry Palace and they're using the containers from the Small Fry short from Toy Story. They had the thing that kind of appeals to me, the angry dogs with Anger having these various forms of giant hot dogs.
You can get the angry dog or the slightly annoyed dog.
I know, right? Yeah, the annoyed dog. And the abominable, like in this case, they're not abominable. It's the adorable. He got what he wanted. He's the adorable snowman now instead of the abominable. So I mean, all of this is just ridiculously.
We also have the cookie nom noms.
Yes, and the 3 different types of giant cookie you can get.
Kind of funny the work walls for the Critter Carousel of like this big Al's Toy Barn sticker for like the coming soon thing.
That's neat. That sounds really cool. I mean, like other stuff too, like basically all the games they have on the side. I think at least revealed 3 that they have so far. At least they're in the works.
Yeah, one of them was what it was like since 09. Like when they changed the games in 09, one of them they already themed to Bullseye back then, so it's still Bullseye now.
Well, beyond that, I saw like there's like a Heimlich's candy corn toss. There's like there's a thing for Luna which looks really cool, and there's like this like a Wall-E. I think it's like a water shooting game. I think.
Yeah, it's they retrofitted the games that as they opened in 09 as they were redone then. Now it's the same games, just Pixar now.
And they're even doing like a thing like a Luxo lounge almost. It's like the lamplight.
Oh yeah, lamplight lounge.
Which I definitely want to get into the next time I get a full trip to Disneyland.
I mean, there's this corner somewhere where they have like all these Pixar quotes from the movies like written on a wall. I mean, yeah, that's a great aesthetic choice. And man,
the gift shop across the way is themed to Knick Knack.
I know, I heard about
after Knick Knack.
See, here's the cool thing to me is that I love collecting the Pixar shirts, like the ones that the animators and the guys at Pixar wear. I love collecting those shirts. Unfortunately, unless you are local to inside, the atrium, they have like the Pixar gift shop where those shirts are specially made for that gift shop and most likely sold at more affordable prices because you get those online. They cost a ridiculous amount of money for a shirt. And from what I understand, they might be selling those shirts in that gift shop along with all other really great novelty things. I heard one thing teased. I don't know if it was from the Pixar store or if it was from this place, but I'm just saying it makes sense of the store name. There's like a wooden bank of the Knick Knack of the snowman. It's like, oh my god, I mean, I'm just insanely jealous of, oh my god, like all the shirts I could ever want are probably there, but it's out of reach.
Yeah, I wouldn't know, and I haven't walked through the store yet anyway, so.
Yeah. The point is, I'm in great favor of everything they're doing at the Pixar Pier. I approve very much so. I'm loving it.
Yeah, they have done really well with it. It is an upgrade.
All right, so just kind of setting the stage to the walk up to the coaster itself, Monkey.
So yeah, years after the Disney on Ice show where the Incredibles went to Disneyland, they finally have an attraction.
God.
And this time they got the voice actors for the adults back too, not just the kids in Syndrome.
All right, so walking up to Paradise Pier, Pixar Pier, I should say, like what has changed? Like just kind of from an aesthetic point of view, like just on the like as if like you're passing Pacific Wharf going into Pixar Pier, like guide me through that.
Well, the archway where you enter is dressed up more now, and I gotta say, like when you're kind of coming up to it from the wharf, it does feel kind of like you're looking at something at a CGI set piece, which that's a compliment, of course.
Nice.
Yeah, like I mean, like that and Flo's Diner. It's like you're looking at actual CGI.
Flo's Diner for sure.
Yeah. So that you go and you pass like knickknacks and stuff, and then you take, you got that boardwalk going down towards the pier, and you got Adorable Snowman. The billboards are Pixar related now. They're really good, by the way. Like they're a good blend at being Pixar stuff and fitting in with the pier theme.
Nice.
Yeah. Although considering one of them, they assume that you've seen Coco.
All right.
So yeah, you come up and to that archway that is in Tiki's photo, the photo he has pulled up for his image in this video, and there's that entrance spot, which is really nice looking.
All right, can we get to the queue?
Yes.
Please, because I'm dying to get to the queue here, man. I want to talk about the freaking genius queue, please.
All right, talk through the queue, Monkey, because this is something I haven't even looked at video for.
I'm blown away by this queue. We got to talk about it. Go on.
Well, it's so they have like posters and such, like as you go through the switchbacks, talking about like telling you who everybody is. And it's funny, the raccoon actually is. You can kind of see the raccoon on the Jack one, and in the mural as well on the station.
Nice. The raccoon sweeping the nation. It's going to give Rocket a run for his money. I can feel it.
Sure it's not Rocket?
Yes, we're sure it's not Rocket.
Okay. The weird part is that they have they have a poster about Frozone, but they spelled his name wrong.
Really?
No, they spelled it Frozone instead of Sir not appearing in this ride.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Yes, I'll admit that's one of my big problems with the ride is that no Frozone, which is
I mean,
no Frozone at all.
I mean, fair enough, but my issue is why mention him in the queue?
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying we tease Frozone and nothing.
Yeah, they make in the pre-show video, they make sure to say Frozone and the Incredibles saved the day when they did the yeah.
And there's a perfect place for him in the ride, honestly, but they don't.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
I mean, the ride still works without him. It's just they set up an expectation, you could say.
Certainly.
By including
I think what they're going for is it's about, the Incredicoaster and the whole gimmick is, it's about specifically the Incredibles family. That's who it's being
I definitely think that's what they're going for, and that's kind of what I liked about it when I first saw the POV.
Exactly, and that's fine. But again, if you set up Frozen, then of course therein lies a problem. If you're gonna do that, then don't get me wrong, we all love Frozen, but you capitalize on it if you're gonna have him in there, at least like a cameo somewhere in the.
Yeah, I mean, maybe instead of Frozen, they could have had something about a sign about we're dedicating this coaster.
Yeah, maybe.
There's one, a couple of some of them are dedicated to them, one for them as a whole family, and there's one for all three of the kids, and then for both the parents. So we're not just going with individual people here. And of course, it is kind enough to set up some of the stuff we'll see from Jack and the ride, set up the character dynamic, who the characters are if you haven't seen the movies.
Right. You know what's so great about the queue? So essentially, the way the queue works too is that we have as you're waiting in line, you have these it's kind of a run of videos along with the safety instructions.
Yeah, that's after that's for the upstairs part of the queue.
Oh, okay.
Also, to be for the record, the videos are why I am not showing footage of the queue, because the videos are Pixar animation and don't want to run into copyright trouble there.
Yeah.
But
so they're not in the main switchback area. It's once you go upstairs.
Now, Monkey, is the main switchback area essentially the same?
Yes.
But they have the posters.
Yeah, and it's a different stuff over your head.
Okay.
It's not all those canopies. It's those sort of Gucci type roof things.
Right. Gotcha. So it looks better.
And they also have an announcer saying to stow your backpacks or whatever.
Okay.
All right, so speaking of, this announcer we have at the top, from what I understand, I think it's the same guy who played the news anchor from Incredibles 2. I think it's that Chad Bentley guy, the guy with the giant chin.
I would not know.
Well, I mean, you saw the sequel, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if it's that same character.
Oh, right. Sorry about that. I mean, yeah, that's who I'm referencing. But yes, gotcha.
Well, now I want to hear the Crimson Chin do a safety spiel. Thanks.
Oh my god.
I can't afford Jay Leno.
Well, it doesn't have to be for this ride. It could be for its own ride, the Crimson Chin coaster. The CCC.
Right.
But that's not why we're here. We're here for the one that actually exists.
So I love the meta concept of the ride. There's a great meta concept.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. It's a big, and there's a great Tiki. You're gonna love this. It's kind of a DVD reference to the DVD with all this, which is so brilliant.
Okay.
So, the meta concept is we're in the ride. We're acknowledging the Pixar overlay of the Paradise Pier with the ride. Hence the whole dedication. So one,
you know what I love about that is that it's also in the same tone as Mission Breakout. Where Mission Breakout is essentially what the hell? This weird spaceship thing landed in Disneyland. That's thematically inconsistent.
Disneyland? That's thematically inconsistent. And this one, Violet's slap our name on an old ride.
So I love that.
It's branding, darling. Branding is power.
It's called synergy.
Synergy, right.
So I love that we set up kind of our character dynamics and how they're feeling about the ride in these little setups. And the way these setups are filmed and the way they're kind of carried out feels very, given the announcer again, most likely I think is supposed to be the the news anchor, whichever the point is. That guy's inspired by a deep cut Pixar reference. So whatever's the announcer voice is inspired by in the Pixar DVDs, even before The Incredibles, they had this recurring thing, I think is in almost all the early films, where you have a bonus feature with a most likely an employee from the company just acting like a very facetious news anchor, doing like an interview via satellite, like talking to Buzz and Woody, or they're going undersea to talk with Nemo, Dory Marlin, and eventually Bruce the Shark. And it's also kind of borrowing from that great thing that we had, this great concept we had in the Incredibles DVD, where we had these kind of press interviews where the characters of the movie were sitting in the chairs opposite real interviewers, and they basically had this meta idea set up that they might be kind of referencing here, where it's like, hey, we gave Pixar the likeness to use us in a movie, but we're real, real.
Right. Oh, I'm so glad you mentioned that, Dragon. That is a really deep cut.
So either way, you have a great meta commentary, you have a great meta narrative going on. Either way,
yeah, I mean, it's like. And it does work as like in universe, it's like Municeberg named one of their classic coaster after The Incredibles, and of course, real world they rethemed California Screamin to The Incredibles.
Exactly. So you could look at it absolutely either way of like, hey, just it's the aftermath of Incredibles 2. Hey, Super's in right now. Who's the big kind of name brand super? The Incredibles. Yeah. Other side of it is like, hey, The Incredibles 2 has just come out. It's been real popular. So how do you guys feel about your movie and kind of getting an overlay for this ride? So either way, it kind of works. Yeah.
You know what the absolute biggest fucking crime about this ride is?
What?
No Mr. Skipperdo. He's not in it.
Yep.
I'm kidding around.
Skipperdo?
That would have been amazing if they worked him in somehow.
Lady Lightbug.
That would have been a great Easter egg.
I'll crush you, miss. I'm just thinking of the giant corn cob guy, anyway. But yeah, so basically, here's how everyone's kind of feeling about the ride. So Violet and Edna, they call the ride out in the overlay. It's called Synergy, darling. And Violet's like, it's such an honor.
Yeah, Violet's pretty embarrassed about the whole thing.
I love that Elastigirl is much like the Incredibles too. She's playing ball with kind of the corporate. Again, she's very flexible with the idea, saying she's very eager about the idea.
Please tell me that pun was intended.
No, I'm saying literally that's just the character. It's the whole. She is. Okay, it's an intentional pun. Yes.
Okay.
My point is, like the character being flexible with with her ideology, she too is flexible in showing her enthusiasm for the ride and like forming like the roller coaster and everything. Oh yeah, I've always loved roller coasters. It's been a dream of mine. It's been a dream of yours. So you can basically call her mother out, and you're just playing ball right now, aren't you? Which, of course, is an idea we flirted with in Incredibles 2, where she can kind of go along with those ideologies. And Bob loves having his name. It's like the glory days again. Like, hey, I love this idea. And you can tell it's almost like he's reading from a prompter almost. Like, if not a prompter, then it's like he's been told ahead of time, okay, Bob, listen, we want you to, really sell the ride here, Mr. Crows. Sell the ride. And it says, oh, yes, I love the Dash. Let's not rename the ride. I like the Incredicoaster. Of course, we set up Jack Jack's powers and all the various powers. If I'm not mistaken, we set up at least maybe almost, I think all but one powers we set up because we do Gooey Jack Jack, which I was amazed that we do Gooey Jack Jack. Or I had to catch it on a rewatch. Like, yeah, they did Gooey Jack Jack again. All right.
Yeah.
Wait, how do they do Gooey Jack Jack? Is that in the queue?
Yeah, no, it's in the ride. It's in the ride.
Oh, okay.
So that's the one I'm saying. Like, that's the one they left out. But I think let's see, they do laser eyes. We do the we do the multiplying, the teleporting. We do a few of them.
Fire is the fire's in there, and like
when he
throws his corn dog over it.
Yeah.
If I may, just hold on. It's actually kind of funny. I remember like kind of maybe 10 years ago ish, at a little under that. Like I actually came up with some idea for retheming the Incredibles. I mean, Screamin to the Incredibles.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you expecting residuals?
No, this version is better than what I had.
Okay.
Like, I remember my version. I barely remember it, but I do remember that some of it was like a ripoff of the Simpsons ride plot. Like, big new coaster, and then like the villain takes it over and tries to kill the family. I don't remember how I brought Syndrome back into this, but whatever.
It's like a Doom bot. There was the Syndrome bot got sucked into the jet turbine, not me.
God.
You know, in the Disney on Ice shows, the Syndrome in that show was an android. Like that was their explanation for how he came back.
Oh man, that's a whole can of worms right there.
I mean, imagine how trippy this idea would be. We had like a backup.
Yeah, Frozone was even like, I thought he got got sucked into a plane or something. Whatever the line was.
Okay, I'll pitch you this. All right, here's how they do this. Okay, I'm not saying they should do this. I'm saying if you want to bring Syndrome back, this is how you do it. There's an Omnidroid that is like attacking the city, and Syndrome's on top of it, and they're like, "Oh my god, that was Syndrome back!" And we reveal it's a projection, like it's an artificial intelligence that's like Syndrome's mind in the Omnidroid carrying out his bidding.
You mean like Russell Crowe in Man of Steel?
Well, I mean, like not exactly, but you know. Anyway. So, real quick, my favorite bit of the queue. I love, again, Violet. Every time, Incredibles 2 really, I liked Violet already, but, you know, I loved what we did with Bob in the first minute. All of our characters are great, but I tell you, Violet is kind of I keep going back to Incredibles 2 and just going gaga over Violet because you're just, oh my god, she's so great in that movie. Like, Tony! At the beginning of that movie. And there's an she really came to life for me on this ride because there was this bit where she catches Jack in a little force field. She's like kind of like an Eskimo thing with the nose. And it's like, oh, one question. Like, she's so adorable with it. It's so much fun. And, you know, she's just when they're interviewing her asking, so how was it like to face the Underminer? It was like, oh, it was so annoying. No, not the Underminer. My parents said, watch Jack, stay here. It's like she's such a teenager. It's great. I'm digging Violet more and more each time I keep going back to The Incredibles. It's great.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I'm kind of going in blind when it comes to the queue, so you guys are going to kind of have to tell me when we get into the actual ride part of it.
What's the gist of the
queue? We're almost there.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, so at this point, we'd be like, you know, in that above ground part. So then we're about to go down the stairs then?
Sounds right.
Sounds like it.
And then down to the station where... Yeah.
Well, tell me about the station, Monkey.
I think I saw somewhere that the kind of aesthetic they were going for with the queue in the design is kind of Palm Springs-esque.
Huh,
cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, I love these rooms that they have designed. These very 60s-esque kind of wide window rooms that feel very consistent with the Incredibles, kind of 60s kind of futuristic look.
It does feel consistent. It does feel consistent with the movie.
Yeah.
So this, otherwise, so you got that's like where the control booth is kind of like those bricks there under the Incredicoaster sign. You got a wall like that and some plants, some in the windows.
It's like a VIP room.
Kind of like that, yeah. I mean, it's not the VIP room that we see in the ride, but
certainly.
Yeah. And see, there's the big mural along the side, along one of the sides.
Great mural, by the way.
Yeah, and which also has the raccoon on it. And Elastigirl does the safety spiel, and Bob chimes in with a "Watch your little ones."
I fucking love Bob. I think Bob to me is like the character that came the most alive in Incredibles 2, honestly.
I mean, look, you know me, I'm instantly sold on Bob Parr. It's just, again, like Violet just she has like the delivery on Violet, like, oh my god, Violet's so much fun.
Yeah. And then and yeah, you're bored, and it's pretty much the same process as Screamin', and then it's time to go.
Are you ready to break down the ride then?
Yeah, hold on. Let me. I've got a video.
Yeah. So let's just address right away the static figures.
I like them.
Yeah. Oh, just mentioning, I haven't done it at night yet, but it's cool. It's cool.
Okay.
I imagine it's going to come alive at night. The only thing great if the ride could do is, I doubt it though, if they could. In the queue, if they could have like a night filter on it, but I doubt they would I'm just saying that would make it for basically when you have nighttime. You can.
Monkey, you sure you don't want me to switch it to a daytime POV?
Do you mind, or?
No, I don't mind.
Maybe. Yeah, it'll give us time to talk about the figures. I mean...
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean... It is a little disappointing, like, having, static Disney Store figures in 2018, but they don't ruin the ride for me, and I get a feeling it's it's a result of how, like, I know you probably theoretically could do the sort of Frozen Ever After facial projections on them, but then you probably have difficulty syncing them up with each car's soundtrack.
Okay, that's my whole thing. Like, with California Screamin', I've marathoned that ride so many times, I know it like the back of my hand. And A, there's very little space in the actual tunnels that they're doing these show scenes in. B, you're going by them so fast that I'm in complete favor of the static figures. I actually think the static figures, maybe, they might not be as impressive as if full-blown animatronics were in there, but I think that they provide an overall more consistent ride-to-ride experience than animatronics would. The one thing I'm disappointed with is that Baby Jack Jack and Edna at the end of the ride aren't animatronics. I think that was a missed opportunity.
I'll give you that. I can agree with you there. But on the whole, though, I would say what I like about it, though, it's like a dark ride meets a coaster in a way. It's kind of neat. A good idea. I like it.
Now, speaking of which, it is... No, I'll get to that later.
All right.
So I guess overall, it's kind of some overall stuff that kind of starts us off on the ride. Just kind of big points right off the bat that really sold me on this thing. I love how it's a very story-driven ride in that it's we have the audience.
But at the same time, it's still technically just a roller coaster with no story in the world of the ride.
And that's very impressive, though.
Yeah, and stuff's happening around you that's kind of affecting the ride. So there is a story, but regarding an attraction that doesn't have a story.
That's so clever. That's like if they did a Scooby-Doo roller coaster and had like haunted stuff happening around the roller coaster.
Yeah, or
it's almost like a Seinfeld
idea
ride.
Yeah, or like I know Tiki would have seen this idea I had for the Avengers ride, which I'm not going to talk about on air, but yeah, the similar idea.
I mean, just very simply, it's basically it's a scramble to find Jack Jack, and we're kind of in Dash's POV, and we have various, we show the various powers. I mean, that's kind of the sell of the ride, but again, I like how we use the audio of like the dialogue between the family and the score to really elevate the experience. And I think that really goes the extra mile, kind of separating it from your average roller coaster. I mean, again, you don't really get a lot of most of your story kind of comes from the setup around the roller coaster, and it's like, okay, thrill ride, but hopefully you buy into the story. In this case, the story is within the ride, and of course, the Seinfeld irony is like it's a ride where the ride is not important. The ride is nothing. The ride is just like getting ready for the ride.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess with that in mind, let's go through it then.
Woo! Yay!
All right, let's see. Giving credit where credit's due, I'm using Theme Park Insider's video. Thank you, Theme Park Insider.
Okay.
Please don't sue.
Yeah. It's a nice score, by the way.
Okay, I don't know. To me, I feel like a little bit more could have been done to this whole area besides just like, hey, it's a couple trees.
Yeah.
Granted, I do know that we have this, so that's neat.
Yeah, we get the VIP lounge with the projection of Jack Jack teleporting.
Yeah. How easy is that to see as you roll through, Monkey?
You mean the Jack Jack part?
Yeah.
You can catch it a bit.
Okay.
Like, not a ton of it, but like you can see him at least once. And the baby is gone.
Bradbury must have fun recording this.
All right, I really like the idea that this is Dash's POV, and so for that reason we don't see Dash. It kind of sticks to like the very old school, like 1950s style of Imagineering.
Or No, here's who we are. This is Frozone's POV.
Oh my god.
That's why he's not in the ride.
No, it makes more sense that it's Dash.
But seriously,
I know.
Little detail though, I love with this is that on the side when dashing out,
the water.
Yeah, the water. You have basically you hear the ramp of him like he basically kind of building his momentum, and as he runs, and as that momentum kind of kicks off, you see right as you get to the tunnel, this water kind of kicks up around you.
Yeah,
like you did when you did a 100-mile dash.
Okay, I'm gonna need to pay attention to this.
I don't know if you'll really be able to see it in this video, but maybe there's an off-ride one that shows it.
Yeah, it's there though. It's in one of those POVs. You can find it. It's definitely.
Second thoughts? Too late.
It's coming up right.
Right there.
Yeah, it's a little hard to see, but I guess
yeah.
And we enter the tunnels. Of course, we see the laser eyes kind of bouncing. We're at the tunnel there.
And Dash is there.
Oh, you're right. Dash is there. That is the one time we see Dash.
To be fair, I mean, we are Dash. Dash is so fast we can see him while still being him. It's like an after-image effect.
Monkey, how does it feel having these big sets inside the relatively confined tubes of California Screamin'?
It's neat. And of course, the tubes are enclosed now.
Right.
So yeah, that's a whole new element of it.
I gotta tell you, I've never really seen a coaster with tubes like this. It's kind of refreshing.
Yeah, the tubes were put into California Screamin' so that the screams of the riders wouldn't disrupt the neighbors.
Nice.
And yeah, and my favorite line in the ride, he's teleported to the next tunnel. Cause that's how we were talking about how putting a story into something with no story. It's like the prime example of that.
Right.
And here comes...
Okay, I don't know, guys. I think this is really cool.
This is Gooey Jack right here. This is Gooey.
Yeah.
She says, no, don't turn Gooey Jack, and you see him kind of like vaguely gooey.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha, it's like you got that mold there, and it's a projection of Jack in there.
Yeah. Initially, I thought it was just like kind of phasing through, but it is kind of gooey when you really look at it.
And I just think Elastigirl is the perfect person to have in that lift hill because she's so elongated. It makes sense for her on a placemaking point of view.
Isn't it like 53 feet long or something?
Something like that, yeah. So, like I said, just from pure placemaking point of view, this is really impressive.
Mm-hmm. And then, to quote Nacho Libre, I smell cookies.
There we go. I just love the expression on
cookies.
Hold on, Bob. Here, this is the perfect father-son moment. Here, this is adorable. You just look at Bob. He's just like, no. Hey, look, it's that happy expression of he's the cool dad. He's the and we kind of see what Mr. Incredible's problem still is that we still got to address if we ever go forward in the Incredibles, by the next movie. He is kind of destructive because he just pokes his head through the ride.
Like you got that tunnel. Bits of the tunnel around him. And of course, this time, in this version of the ride, they pumped in a smell here.
Nice.
Cookie smell.
Nice.
Yeah, so you can smell chocolate chip cookies.
Nice.
I didn't notice it till my second time on the ride, but yeah, it's there.
And I love how this is... I love how something so adorable like this is right before the main drop on the ride. All right, so you go down, big drop.
And it's gone. Seriously?
I like how the drop itself is half enclosed, like normal. I like how they kept that part of it.
All right, so this is really great coming up here. What they did, again, this is a missed opportunity, but still great what they did in its place. Though is that Frozone should... Yeah,
they put in a loop, but it could have been a corkscrew.
Okay, well, hold on right here. So I want to say this about the loop here. That's the thing. I was actually, this ride struck me so well. I mean, I would have gone on this ride until I saw the loop. Like, okay, I can't. Nope, that's it. That's
no, you have to. You have to.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, the loop's not that bad.
Honestly, the whole ride is relatively tame.
Uh-huh.
But I'm saying, like, again, if it worked for that loop, I'd be all for it. That's the thing. I still love the ride. I'm just saying, like, okay, I love it. I won't go on it though.
Oh man.
Like, if it didn't go upside down, I'd be sold.
Yeah, I'm sure it's the first loop for a lot of people.
It was the first loop for me. I can definitely say that.
Same here.
Anyway,
Dragon, there was a time where I was agreeing with you, but like, you know, once I actually did this loop in particular, it was kind of like a gateway drug onto other coasters.
Yeah. Like, I'm still gonna recommend you actually going on the Ride Dragon, but I understand where you're coming from.
I'd say it's coming up here. So with Violet, so I love how again it's Violet saving our lives here with the force field.
Yeah, the tunnel is on fire.
Yes, so of course the obvious missed opportunity here is, hey, Frozen could put out the fire.
Yeah.
But by the same token, it is really cool, like Violet using her force fields creatively and to save us. Of course, people, our heroes saving people, therefore us. I mean, that's pretty neat.
So it's like changing the look of the tunnel.
Yeah. Violet kind of peeking her head through there. It's nice. That's all really cool.
And ladies and gentlemen, here comes the most exciting part of the ride. After the bunny hills.
So this is cool coming up here.
Now he's multiplying!
I love this. You can see on both sides we have like multiple Jack. It's just kind of sculpted kind of Jack around.
Even on the midway roof.
Now, this is one of those elements I'm sure this is like the element that would come alive during the nighttime, I'm sure. Like just kind of Jack.
I think they light up at night.
Yeah, it sounds like a better idea. It's the one thing with the whole kind of figurine thing is it kind of sticks out during the daytime. So on the whole, I love how we're in the thick of the action.
And I love how this part just was not changed at all. Like fuck all was done with it. The most boring part of the ride, and nothing was done to it at all.
You think they might paint it?
I don't know, man. But all I'm saying is, like, until we get to here, it's just bizarre that the finale of the ride, which everyone's criticized as being boring and ugly, just like you would have at least thought they would have put some more Jacks in that area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or some icicles.
Instead, whereas in the thing you just hear everyone shouting, Jack! 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 Boom! And the little one returns.
And of course, her using the operative word "little one." Big Jack.
You're tremendous, darling. You make Auntie Edna so proud.
But I gotta tell you, on the whole, I love that we're in the thick of the action, and we have the family element all throughout this ride, which is the hallmark of The Incredibles. All this great action, being in the thick of it, and the family, like they're acting like a real family. Like, oh, we gotta find the baby in a theme park.
Yeah, I think overall this ride really succeeded in its mission statement. I think it's funny because, of course, it being the internet, people are tearing it to shreds.
I do understand people not liking this change to the ride.
So real quick, just one last thing we didn't mention too. Bob giving the safety instructions on the way off the ride. It's great. I love that. Just like, yeah, Bob, go. Yeah, you tell those people.
And Violet, be sure to take your, grab your belongings. And Violet adds and your little brothers.
Oh yeah, that's great. Oh yeah, that's wonderful.
Until tonight, I thought she meant Dash.
I don't know. She could mean that too. Like, yeah, and get the little brother too.
Yeah.
Either way.
Well, I'm an only child, so fuck you, Violet. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, of course.
All right, so Monkey, you've been on this twice, of course. You're still waiting 4 times. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I managed to get a couple rides in before this podcast.
Nice. So you're still waiting to get on a night ride, but overall, would you say it's a worthy successor to the iconic California Screamin?
Yes.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, I said, I understand people liking it or not liking it. I am in the camp that likes it.
Cool.
And of course, it's one where I've gone on it again. It's not like something, say, Soarin' or Test Track, where I feel that it really worked against those rides. This one, it still works. It ain't perfect, but it works.
Okay, sounds good. And Dragon, any final thoughts on your end?
Yeah, again, it captures the experience of The Incredibles, again, kind of all the hallmarks of The Incredibles. I mean, I miss Frozen, but again, if the ride's about the family, therefore, it achieves its goal, just that little misleading with kind of the, hey, Frozen, a little bit of Frozen there, a little bit of Frozen there, none the ride. But that's fine, though, because again, the ride just being, it's a ride within a non-existent ride, which is kind of clever. I love the meta quality too about, hey, The Incredibles got a ride, and they're very self-referential of it, and I just... Yeah, and look, I mean, part of me, again, I'm not taking this away from the ride, because the ride is just what they made it, but it's I wish there was no upside down loop. Otherwise, this is again my big thing of it all here is, again, this is a roller coaster that really makes me. I'm so against big roller coasters. This is the one time I would I would go on this if not for that loop, because this thing sold me so much. Like, there's story, there's character. It's not just like you're not going fast. It's like, oh, it's an experience and it's fun. It's The Incredibles. Like, yeah.
And again, Monkey and I both encourage you that the loop is not that bad, and it's honestly like a gateway. It's honestly like a first loop. It's a first loop for a lot of people.
Kind of hard to tell you're actually upside down, even.
I
mean, it's sort of like you're sort of leaning forward a little when it happens.
Right.
But that's sort of it.
All right, folks. Well, thanks so much for joining us.
But Tiki.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
What's your question?
What does combustion mean?
It means fire, Robert.